Podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome to America's Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today. Amazing, man. Amazing. I don't know if you guys caught this election that just happened yesterday was a nail biter for sure on both sides. And what makes it hard, really, in reality, is that, you know, whichever side you're going for, it kind of throws a little damper in, you know, because you're screaming at the TV and you're kind of wondering which state is going to win, what side's going to win in each state, right? So as we were watching this last night, me and my wife, we were just nail biting a lot of stuff, and you know, it ended up going throughout the evening to the night, of course, up to after midnight, right? And then even up to this morning, of course, they had already announced that Trump had won the election, but the numbers were still going, right? Because a lot of these polling places and election places where they get the results, it takes a while for them to scan everything in and get the mail-in ballots, and of course everything counts. That's what it is. So they're checking to make sure that everything counts, and that way they can tally up a final number. And the only reason, I mean, they could have stopped, but they're not, because, you know, it's just like the history books. You have to make sure that when you're looking in the history books that you're seeing that how much margin this person won the presidency, right? Whoever was running at the time, even when they go back 20 years or 30 years, you know, those numbers are going to be there. And that's the reason for them to keep going, right? Which is fine. And you know, this change that just happened this morning was a big change for the United States of America, right? And if you're new to this podcast, welcome to America's Podcast, where we talk about politics, news, everything, where we're unbiased. So we're not left, we're not right, we're not in the middle. We're just kind of give you everything that's been happening out there as it comes in during the days and the weeks, you know, ahead of us. Also, we talk about, you know, different topics as well. You know, the past podcast we had about farming. I talked about nuclear war, possibly with Putin, and a lot of things came into play with China. Now, this changes a lot of the factors in what they were going to do as far as Putin and Xi Jinping working together as one. Of course, Xi Jinping, China, they don't want war, right? They don't want nuclear war. They're kind of just helping both sides. They're trying to make money, man. I think that's basically what's happening there. They're just trying to build their economy up a lot faster and their military up as much as possible, right? That's the end game, man. The goal. That's the goal of everything, right? So basically, that's what was happening between those two, right? And Kim Jong-un, that's they're dealing with that as well. You know, part of that, now that the President Trump won, you know, of course, a couple of presidents reached out to him and thanked him. The president from India, you know, the president of Saudis, and then the crown prince, the prince of Saudi, and then also the other, you know, president, of course, it's having the war right now. Zelensky, he actually reached out and thanked Trump, and actually getting ready to negotiate with him as well, right? And it has a lot of economic changes that are going to be happening here. Now, you need to understand, we're not for left, we're not for right. I'm just kind of giving you the basic outline of what's been happening through the United States through all this time, that after he left office and tried to get back in, lost that one. Now this is his last brouhaha, right? So basically, you know, this man is a tycoon, multi-billionaire, and he knows numbers. He knows how to wheel and deal. This is why when he under his wing, the economy was really, it was up there. It actually was, you know, and to keep the economy booming, the fuel low, because you got to think about this. The less money you put in your gas tank, right? the more you can go spend at Taco Bell or McDonald's or wherever you're going to go, right? You got that extra $5 or $10, right? Because I don't know how much it costs you to fill your tank. It costs me an arm and a leg, right? So anyway, I mean, now hopefully within the first year, it's not going to happen right away. So just kind of be monitoring that for sure. He's got to work on what's happening with the border crisis and everything. Everything's going to hit him all at one time when he sits the first day in office, right? So I think what he's going to do is work on our fuel first to get our so we can have our own fuel supply instead of getting it from the Saudis or getting it shipped in from anywhere else. This is why your fuel was costing you so much money, right? Well, we can actually do it here, and it would be a whole lot cheaper. And the more money you pump into that, and we get that Alaskan pipeline coming down, well then, guess what? That money's going to be flowing in like no tomorrow, and our deficit is going to change. So we're not going to be so far in the negative anymore, and it's going to actually put money in your bank accounts, right? People that work in the oil field, people who work anywhere in the oil industry, propane, anything like that, it's gonna boost your pocketbook, right? And of course, they're giving breaks to the bigger businesses, the tycoons that have these, like Exxon, all these. People complain that they give them too many tax breaks. Well, the only reason for that, and which makes sense if you think about this, it's only because the more tax breaks you give these bigger companies, the more people they can hire, right? So if you're charging them so many, like let's just say I'm a mom and pop's building, whatever, and I have a small grocery store. It's growing, right? Let's just say I have 20 people working for this grocery store, and I'm paying this high percentage of taxes to where I can only have 20 employees because this is the only extra money I can have to hire these 20 employees and to keep them working for the whole year, right? So if you drop my taxes down, right, let's just say, to where now I can hire 25 people instead of 20. My store runs smoother, more product comes out, gas is cheaper, so the transportation is less on our food products go down. This is how everything happens in sections, right? So if you really think about it, when you drop the taxes for these organizations, even mom and pop stores or whatever, it actually helps get more people employed, right? And that is basically economics, man, 101. So that's how that works. And it's not that, because we're making them richer and we're not getting up. No, it's actually hiring more people. So you got to just think about that in the larger scale, right? And that's how it's working, right? But let's go back to the election and how, there was I'm just going to throw this out there. I have one snippet for you guys today, and it was talking about as soon as Donald Trump won, CNN came on, and this gentleman came on there, and he started talking about how how this changed and why this election changed the way it did because of the working American person, right? And that's basically what they were just talking about on this CNN panel that was out there last night after they knew the numbers was coming through. So let me just play this here for you real quick. About a minute and 20 seconds or so. Check this out.
Mandate has won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans, fix immigration, try to get crime under control, try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks And the story that was portrayed was not true. Mandate has won the national popular vote for the first time since, for a Republican, for the first.
All right, so we're sorry about the loop, but that's pretty much what happened there. And this was on CNN. It was one of the a person in the panel that was talking about that. How it affected the election results because of the working man or the working woman, right, or the working person. Let's just say, and this is because it remember, the economy hit everybody in the pocketbook these past 4 years. Right. And we can point fingers all different kinds of directions. But, the thing is that when this happened, it was a reason. And the people spoke, really. And even if Kamala would have won, if she would have won, we would have been talking about that as well. Right. And how she was going to make changes. And I'm sure we would have had people talking on panels about her, of course, she conceded and said that they're ready to hand it over to Trump, and and they did it diplomatically, right? And which is great. That's the proper way to do things, right? And good not to hold grudges and things like that, right? So when this happened, of course, when he won the election, that there was a change in the stock market. I don't know if you guys saw it here today. It actually shot up. It went through the roof because they knew that he's going to change economic strategies, right, to where it's going to start pumping more money into the United States. And that's basically why it shot up the way it did. It's like a projected income that's going to be coming into the United States, where the dollar is going to be worth more than it is now, right? And basically, when you bring more money in to the United States, like right now, our dollar's only worth like 40 cents, really in reality, like 42 cents. So if once they change that and we start getting more money coming in, oil, more industry start charging more money for these other countries to bring their stuff in, well then our 42 cents becomes 52 cents, then 62 cents. So in other words, your money is starting to stretch a longer way, right? And that's basically what's happening, right? In other words, that candy bar doesn't seem so expensive after all, right? So especially when your money means more than it actually is. So, and it's kind of hard to see it that way, but that's what's happening, right? It'd be nice when the dollar is actually worth a dollar, right? And they can print money all day long, but it costs money to print money, so it's not free, right? So just think about that. That is not free. It's not a free deal, and this is why it's just like your car. When you buy a car, as soon as what did they say? When you take it off the lot, it's just depreciated $3,000, right? Bam, there you go. So this is what's happening to our dollar today. So the Dow Jones went up 729.93, went up 1,508. So that was weird and amazing how that just happened overnight, right? Because it's the projected incomes that are going to start growing, right? So in other words, all this is they're getting ready. They're getting ready for the takeoff of our stocks, so our stock market. So anyway, if you guys in the stock market, probably be the best time to get yourself some stock, right? Because things are going to change, right? So from NBC, it says stock futures are near flat on Wednesday night after the huge market rallying Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election, says traders are awaiting the Federal Reserve interest rate decision by Thursday afternoon. It says futures tied to Dow Jones Industrial Average added 25 points or a 0.1% SP 500 futures, and the NASDAQ at 100 futures, both traded marginally above flat, right? And it pretty much it kind of went up. It even says Bitcoin, the U.S. dollar, and all bank stocks all jumped as a part of Wednesday's post-election advance, right? It's just kind of giving you the what happened, because they're projecting the changes that are coming to the United States of America, right? And that's what this is about, and because they know this man's a businessman, and he's going to make sure that there's more money in your pocket as an American, right? As a patriot as well, and he wants to make sure that you have enough money for your families and to and to afford your $6 eggs, right? Where they won't be $6 anymore. The chickens will not be on strike anymore. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. So, we need to get them off strike. We want our $2 eggs back again, or, down here, I think we have a place called Dollar General, or I'm sure they're everywhere, but Family Dollar. This was like a couple years ago. I seen them down there. They were like $1.29 for a dozen of eggs. Now it's like almost $4 for a dozen of eggs, right? How does that happen, right? Well, fuel economy, costs of living, things like that. It's just harder for the transport. The fuel's expensive now. Truck drivers are having a hard time making ends meet as well. It's kind of hard because that industry used to be like one of the best. I know because I was a truck driver for 16 years, and I did drive the big box ones, and I did 18, and I did oil field, right? So I know the impact that that industry can do for your pocketbook as far as a truck driver, because this is what I did, right? And I know when I was making money, and then in 2008 when everything hit the fan, I lost almost everything, even the 401k. So if you have 401s, anything like that, and if you're or even the stocks, and it falls like it did in 2008, 2007, oh my God. My friends, a lot of them lost $20, $30, $40, $50,000 instantly in one day, right? Because of that. And this is what happens with the banks as well. So you have to kind of be careful on that, and always watch the Dow Jones. I know people don't really know it, and it's kind of hard to figure it out, but just kind of figure out if your dollar's worth $1, well, then you're doing good. If your dollar's only worth 42 cents, 39 cents, we ain't doing that good. That's just the way it is. So hopefully this President Trump can change things around and make things a little bit better for us in our pocketbooks, and give your savings account back again, and kind of help. It helps the middle class and the lower class as well, but it helps people across the board, straight across the board, to keep more money in your pocket. And that's what it's about, right? So that way your $2 candy bar won't hurt that much when you're buying it at the stores anymore, right? Even your eggs, right? Milk, things like that. So let's just make sure that, even whichever side you're on, left or right, if you don't like him, like the way he talks or anything like that, there's a lot of people like that, which is fine. Everybody can agree to disagree, but let's just move forward and just see how the changes are going to come if he can handle these wars and make these things calm down as well. It's war right now is a scary, scary thing, which I talked about in a past podcast, because one nuclear bomb can actually destroy many, many things, and for many, many years, over 200 years of fallout, right? So in other words, if a bomb hits in the center of the United States, 200-mile radius, 300-mile radius, that ground is useless. Nobody can even walk around it without getting radiation sickness or poisoning, okay? So we don't want that at all. We got to make sure that everything that we do is on a positive note, and we need to push forward to stop wars. Take care of our military, grow our military, because our military does need to grow. Especially, I want to thank the military out there today: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and everybody involved in keeping America safe. And just I want to thank them as well for protecting America, because that's what they do, and especially the ones that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. So besides that, we need to grow our military. We need a lot of things. The industrial complex needs to grow as well. We need to get our everything, our eggs back in one basket. Let's just put it to you that way, right? So let's just make sure that if you like this president, or if you didn't like this president, let's just sit back, watch, and see what's going to happen next, and just kind of hope for the best, and we'll see. I'm this kind of person. Don't just tell me, show me, right? I am this, I am that person. So, if you're that person, that's amazing. And I hope you guys understand how this election took place, how the changes came about, and let's just move forward to be better patriots and better Americans, and let's all live together as one, right? Because that's what we're going to do. And here at America's Podcast, that's exactly what we try to do. We want to show people the news as well, and show them politics, and show them everything that's happening around the United States of America, because we're all patriots and we all love and support each other, no matter whichever it is in the industry, working man, working woman, single mom, single dads, even couples out there that are pushing hard to be successful. Keep doing what you do. Here's America's Podcast. We support you. And don't forget, we're going to have a new coffee coming out it's called America's Coffee. It is delicious. You'll start seeing the commercials on this podcast, and then I'll throw out some links where you can buy it. It is amazing. The coffee beans, so you have to grind it yourself. But man, let me tell you, this is amazing coffee. You have to try it. You have to. Get yourself a bag, right, of some coffee beans. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's America's Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm your host, Don Ledesma. We'll see you on the next America's Podcast.